Anna Vallye, one of the curators of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, here in Venice at the Correr Museum, just to present this beautiful exhibition about Léger. And behind her, one of the masterpieces, one big canvas, La Cité. I want to ask you, how did you organize this exhibition?
Yes, this exhibition is in fact built around this painting. It's one of the most important works in the history of modern art, and it is one of the cornerstones of the collection of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It's a painting by Fernard Léger called La Ville, or The City, of 1919, and it travels very rarely, so if you have a chance to see it here in Venice, you should take that chance. It's an image of the city, of a modern city, painted right after the end of the First World War. And it represents for Léger both a manifesto of his return as the leader of the French avant-garde, of the European avant-garde in fact, and a reunion with the city of Paris. It is less a representation of the city than it is something that captures the experience of the excitement and of sensory overload of walking on an urban street. So you see everything in fragments. You see just glimpses of advertising billboards, pedestrians walking up and down the stairs, fragments of traffic signs, fragments of smoke rising over the chimneys, scaffolding, balcony railings, and so on. But everything is combined together and painted according to what Léger himself called the law of contrasts. And that is a painting that brings together the most dissimilar experiences, the most dissimilar forms, puts them side by side so as to produce the effect of explosive force, of a kind of a tension that Léger felt was representative of the experience of the city in this part of the 20th century.
Léger has been one of the father of the avant-garde, but a very typical one in the meaning that he was unique in his form. So this automatism of factories, robotic representations, but it is not only this.
Yes, Léger was both at the very core of the French avant-garde and also very much an individualist. And he's perhaps best known as the painter of the modern city. The modern city remained his subject through the entirety of his life. And this is something that really starts with this painting in his career. And of course, I mentioned earlier his law of contrasts. He wrote frequently about his painting, so he was both a practitioner and a theorist. So his theorizations of his painting sum up his approach in very compelling ways. And he felt that the notion of contrast was something that both was an innovative approach to painting and captured the essence of the experience of urban modernity.
And then the collaboration with theater, most theater films. We have seen a few of these films celebrating even Charlie Chaplin's Charlot, the Cubism, Dada, so a lot of influences that we can find in Léger's works of art.
Yes, and this is also something that I believe begins with this painting, because even though it's a conventional work in the sense that it's painted on canvas and it's framed, it's exhibited in an art gallery, but it also at the same time combines within itself and gestures towards an entire range of different arts, that some of which you just mentioned. So it is reminiscent of an advertising poster, of a cinema screen, of a theatrical design, and Léger himself called it a mural. So this is something that has become an inspiration for this exhibition, because it turns out that throughout the period of the 1920s, for the first time, Léger himself experimented with this range of different arts. So he created a film. He also did set design for cinema. He did set design set, costume, and curtain designs for theater. He created advertising posters. So he was actively engaged in all of these different arts, which for him and for many of his colleagues in the avant-garde were truly modern arts and truly urban arts.
What shocks best is the presence of these bright and very high-level colors that Léger always used on these paintings, and the influence even on and from the architecture of the time, for example, Corbusier or those van der Does.
Yes, one of the wonderful and fascinating things about Léger is that he was always engaged in dialogue with his many friends across the avant-garde. So architects such as Le Corbusier, Robert Mallet Stevens, and others were close friends of his, especially Le Corbusier. And so Léger's approach to color, for which he was of course renowned, was developed also in dialogue with the approach to polychromy by someone like Le Corbusier.
Thank you very much.